Thank you so much, guys, for joining. And yes, I'm back. It's Dr. Zui, and this is my show, The Legend Talks. Okay, I have already posted yesterday. It was a creative on person. Her name is Ishwari, and she's going to tell everything about herself. But the thing is, I would really love to see your response in the comments. What kind of questions you have, because she's a psychologist, she's a therapist, she's going to help you out with whatever questions you have. This is like a free session for you guys, so please take the advantage and stay with us on the show. We're going to have a lot of fun, and plus we're going to know one amazing journey again on the Legit Talks. So let's know the unknown, guys.
Hi, hi Zoe.
Hey,
And you are with us. I
hi.
am good.
Hi,
I'm
Ishwari.
good.
How are you? Yeah. Awesome.
Yes,
मैंने
I
सबको
saw.
बता दिया है कि ये फ्री सेशन होने वाला है. So please, whatever questions you have, ask here itself. So I hope that तुमको थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम होगा आज अगर किसी ने कुछ पूछ
Okay.
लिया तो please we can just answer them. It's going to be for them also. And
Yes, thank
yes,
you for
I am so
inviting.
happy to have you on our show. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Amazing.
So
Okay,
I
so can
am
you tell us
a
something about yourself?
ICBT trained therapist. What I mean is that I have been specifically trained in a therapy style called Rational Emotive Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. It's a long name, but at the
Oh,
same
that is
time, it's a
too
therapy
much.
which encompassing. It's applicable with almost all kinds of mental health concerns. So I have been trained into that. I am into private practice, which means that I have my own setup. And I live in Germany, so my current practice is completely online. I have online clients every day. Uh, what? In addition to that, I am a Hindustani classical music learner.
Wow.
I am an exercise lover, and I like to travel. Yes, so that would be me in a nutshell.
Okay, so at the end, I think I'm going to ask you to sing few lines.
Find reels which combines
Sorry, I would love
positive-only
to hear
songs
that.
and the psychological learnings that you get from them. So feel free to check them out later on. Yeah.
Okay, so I have gone through your page and I have come to, like, I have gone through a word and I want to know more about it. So, what is it?
It's
What is
aham,
ahem?
which
Is it
means in
aham,
Sanskrit, which
ahem,
aham means me, basically. So the
aham?
entire journey of a therapy, a therapy client is a journey
Okay.
inwards, right? It's a journey of introspection, which is why I chose this name
Mhm.
for my enterprise.
So, how is everything happening in the
So it's
journey, like your
actually
setup, your
the
work? How is it
pandemic
happening? How is
saw
it
a
going?
huge boost for the private practice setup. Till then, I was working at a hospital and in a clinic because I was in India then.
Hmm.
So everything happened parallelly that COVID hit. Many people
Okay.
started reaching out. So that's also I decided to take the leap and full time private practice. So got out of my comfort zone, quit the hospital job and
Hmm.
came over here. And yes, since then it has been going steady. So I right now I have clients from India, US, UK, and Canada. So it's a pan world practice as of now. Yes, of course, definitely.
So, are you happy? Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this with us. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of things like even when I was framing questions, I had a lot of things in my head like मैं क्या पूछूं क्या नहीं पूछूं. But I wanted to make it as a plus your story and also some knowledge that you have gained from a lot time so that you can share with us and we can also get acknowledged about it, something like that. So can you tell us like people coming from different cultural backgrounds, how are they accepting it? Like you are doing it there itself, like it's now pan India. So you have been
Hmm.
seeing certain patterns in certain people. Okay. So tell us, can you differentiate in that sense and how people from different cultural backgrounds
Actually,
are taking
so
therapy
culturally
in total?
speaking, I would say that the acceptance towards therapy is definitely increasing overall. Uh, and then I would also say I have seen both extremes of people. I have seen
Wow.
people who which would choose to go towards alternate healing practices and mean and tantrics and things like that. So it will do anything but not go to a therapist. So I've seen that. And
Mm-hmm.
on the other end of the spectrum, I have also seen amazing families, amazing people who have stood by their loved ones through the process of going to a psychiatrist, going to a therapist, investing time for years so that the person gets better.
Wow.
So I would say, Zui, that it's like a spectrum, and I have so far encountered different people falling on different spectrums, irrespective of whether they are coming from, to be very honest. So, personally, I have not seen a very stark difference that
Mm-hmm.
a person from the
Mm-hmm.
UK is super, super accepting, but the person from India is really conserved. That has not, I mean, that is, has not been my experience, at least.
The plus point is they're getting aware about this concept and they are taking step ahead to go there and be a person who would tell everything. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
still there are certain problems जो ना बहुत common है. And there are even friends of ours नहीं पता चलता है what that person is going through unless and until they speak. So basically, when you have a best friend, that friend or that best friend becomes a therapist for you. You tell everything to that person. You trust and you tell everything. And that person, like sometimes they give you 40-30% का थोड़ा सा जो लगेगा, like help and love, whatever. But a therapist does a different change. It brings a different change in that human's life. So how can you tell these people that we are your friends? Please do tell us about whatever problems you have and be free because there are people जो बोलते हैं मैं
Yeah.
जा रही हूँ therapy जा रहा हूँ therapy but still
Yes.
they're not that opened up because I don't know there are some problems.
So
So
two
what is
things
your view
I
on that?
will break it down. The first one would be that friends can give really great
Mm,
advice, and well-meaning friends can definitely be a huge support system for anyone. But that is the precise distinction between a therapist and a friend. That a
yeah.
therapist is someone who is completely an objective review
Mm,
that that the therapist is able to give. So there is no bias, there is no judgment, which may come up if you are talking to a best friend.
mm,
Secondly, what's the defining or the differentiating factor talking to
okay.
a friend and talking to a therapist is that the therapy, the therapist is trained in certain tools, in certain techniques that will help you to identify long lasting patterns of thinking, feeling, and behaving, which you may be unaware of, which even your friends, your closest family members may
Yeah.
also be unaware of. So that
Mm,
skill sort of get it out from a whole,
right.
let's say, usually in session what happens is when a client tells me this much of something that has been, I have to precisely pick out one thing from it,
Yeah.
and then based on that I have to sort of nod or nudge
Yeah.
the client into understanding more about himself or herself. See, the key difference between going to a therapist and talking to a friend, both
Right.
in their own ways, is extremely important, I would say.
Yeah, there is
Okay,
a
so
question
that's
like
a
at
very
what
good
point
question, and
people
I
must
would
visit
thank
to a therapist?
who has asked it. Lali, I would, sorry, okay, but I would thank that person.
That's Surendra.
So, very
That's
couple of
Surendra.
points to keep in mind is that if you start seeing a very stark
Yeah.
difference between who you were up until a point, and then suddenly you start noticing difference in your behaviors and thinking, these differences can be in terms of your mood,
Mm.
in your decisions, in your appetite, in your sleep, everything really. Okay. Uh, then, I mean, that's a very big answer which I'm trying to
Okay.
sort of cut it short. So that's then the second one is if you realize that there are
Mm-hmm.
self-harming thoughts, self-harming tendencies that you are feeling very, very frequently, that would be a amazing point and a very, very crucial point to reach
Mm.
out. You don't feel that there is anything wrong with you, but
Right.
if the people
Mm-hmm.
closest to you are over and over telling you that, you know what, we really think that this is a problematic trait and we can see how it's impacting you badly, so maybe it's a good idea to go to
Mm-hmm.
a mental health professional. So those would be the three situations I would say at the top of my head where a
Yeah.
person should visit a therapist.
Amazing. So can you like you have
Yeah.
been talking to a lot of people now. It's been long time. So can you tell me like what was
Uh,
like one of the
So,
most
okay, so here is
challenging
the
case
deal
you
that
have
there is
come
no
across?
one challenging case, like the most challenging case I can say. But usually the cases where a client is very resistant, that those are always most challenging of the cases because when a client is
Mm.
really committed to the process, the client wants to change, wants to go
Okay.
through the ugly hard work of being in a therapy process, then it is for the therapist because 50% of the job is done by the therapist
Mm.
and the remaining 50% is done by the client. When this proportion is skewed, when the therapist has to take
Yeah.
70 or 80% of the lead and the client only has 20 or 10%, that is quite a challenging situation to be a part of. So resistance can mean many things. It can mean people who need therapy but they won't get go to therapy. Resistance can
Mm.
also mean people who are in therapy but they expect quick results. They do not want to put in the work themselves and they only want the therapist to step in and make things better for them. It is not. That's the point. That
How is
then
it going to
there is that
happen, by the way?
frustration that I am in therapy, nothing changed, and
Yeah.
why am I paying the therapist money then if nothing is changing with me? More often than not, my answer to them is that after the
Mm.
one session, after I
Right.
meet you once a week, what do you do for the remaining 6 days is what matters after therapy session. Correct. How much of the session do you
Yeah,
bring
the
back
work
into
you
your
put
day-to-day
after
life
telling.
is
Yeah.
the point that you will experience.
There are a lot of people who are still, no, ashamed of doing those things. Even if you're telling good things for them, but they feel like, यार मैं ऐसे क्यों, like मेरे को क्यों बताया जा रहा है all of those things. They feel like कि नहीं यार, this is not good for me, and that person is constantly telling me I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. So they become more like कि यार, I have to work on myself so much. At that point, what do you do? Like,
I
how do you
would say, Zoe,
convince
that
them to work on
many of the
themselves?
times a therapist's role is not really to keep on nagging or badgering the client that this is wrong with you, that is wrong with you. More about laying all the options
Mm-hmm.
for them in front of them. That if you continue going this, these are the consequences that you are going to face. I am no one to
Mm-hmm.
say whether you should be walking on that path or not because it's your life. But this is a route and then this is a route. And I can help you out with walking on this route.
Yeah.
So it's skill of a therapist to not judge or demean the
Right.
client when you are trying to bring about change. Because who would like to talk to a person constantly
Mm-hmm.
telling them that you should, this is a
Mm-hmm.
wrong thing that you're doing and that, hey, you're stuck at this. No one would continue with a therapist like that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the negative people are going to take it in a negative way, even if you're telling in a very good way, like very positively. So, like that was the main. It becomes tough for a therapist, to make them understand that your words are not actually like doing something to them, like harming their emotions or something.
Correct.
It's
Yes.
just like they take it in a wrong way. Those things are being seen by you guys. So I know the feeling. Like it happens in the house also. Like when there is a fight, when there is like anything, it happens everywhere. Just like that. Okay, so there is this age time where parents, relatives करना है, नाम कमाना है या नहीं कमाना है, business करना है बेटा ये all these things,
Hmm.
and that age is like 18 to 25. That time people are saying like you are young blood, you have lot of potential to do things. Okay, do this, do that, and in that pressure they forget their original
Okay.
quality, what they are, their authenticity. They become something else. Sometimes they go to a wrong path also. Sometimes they don't listen to the good stuff. They end up doing something wrong. So can you tell me what is that specific key points or key problems that person faces in that
Um,
age
okay,
gap,
so the
like
very
age
first thing
period,
would be
18
that
to 25?
the age of 18 to 25 is a lot about defining or rather refining your identity because you're not a kid, you're not an adult, you're somewhere in the middle, and you're trying to make sense of the experiences that you're having, and then you're trying to sort of see where they fit with the expectations of the society, the kind of life that you would have for yourself. So, if not handled
Mm-hmm.
well, then at this age group, the most frequently seen
Mm-hmm.
concerns can be of anxiety and depression because it can come up with a lot of, let's say, problems
Okay.
regulating in emotions. Whatever emotion feeling, a difficulty managing them, a difficulty
Mm-hmm.
coping with negative emotions. That would be the most frequently seen concern in this age group. And then if it is completely goes to the other end of that the person is just not knowing how to
Okay.
manage it, then we see cases of substance abuse, different kinds of addictions,
Hmm.
procrastination. So all of that can happen in that age group then.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So there is another question. How can we educate people to visit a therapist? Thought process of a person is always negative as when they visit to the doctor or therapist, like am I not a
Yes,
stable
yes.
person? So
How
the
you
same thing
can
that I asked.
basically help
But still,
people go to a
yeah.
therapist is number one, that you yourself have to be non judgmental when you're talking to them about it. Like when you want to approach family member and you want to sort of nudge them in the
Hmm.
direction of going to a therapist, it cannot be that you are coming up from your high horse and saying that you know what, this is something seen in you and you have to work on life. You should to a therapist.
Hmm.
So if there is that high horse, then your family member is never going to accept it. And then in the extreme cases, I'm afraid that if a person is absolutely
Right.
against going to a therapist, you can the best that you can do is to correlate it with physical illness. Then you can always ask the person that if you were to fall sick right now, if you had stomach
Hmm.
infection or fever, would you not attend to a doctor? And if the person says yes, obviously I would, then that would be your window to basically paint analogy that your brain is just like your body, or rather your brain and
Hmm.
body are well connected. That like you would to a doctor for physical health, why not go to a therapist for your mental health? So yeah.
But still, people don't take a therapist very seriously, yaar. I don't know. Uh,
Hmm?
People in the house, people outside, in friends, they don't want to talk the real talk. Nobody's talking the real talk. Everybody's talking about the Netflix series, what dress up you want to have, what trends are going on. They're not talking about behind that stuff, that you're trying to fit in certain society, you're trying to fit in certain kind of a community. Like my friends are the trendy ones, so
Okay.
I have to be a trendy person in that. So that is like one thing. They're not talking about the real stuff. So how, like from so
Yeah.
many years, it is being inside a person. So how is it going to come out, and when they go to a therapist, does it really happen in that way? Are you getting such people, they openly talk about such stuff like आज के ज़माने में ये चल रहा है, तो I'm getting such kind of pressure, I'm feeling like left out, and I'm feeling like I'm not
So
belonging to these
surprisingly,
people or
very
something like that.
interestingly, all the clients that I have had so far, resistant or not resistant, they have always been to talk about the problems that you're going through.
Hmm.
And that is something that many clients, so I'm not tooting my own horn, but
Okay.
what clients have told me is that it's always easy to open up to you, it's always easy to talk to you. Because you treat us like a normal person, you don't treat us like there is something
Hmm.
fundamentally wrong with us, which is a major job of a therapist, right? So I have never had a
Hmm.
problem where people are not able to express. There have definitely experiences that people have required
Hmm.
longer in talking. You know that they have needed 3 to 4 sessions before they could talk about that part of their life. So
Hmm.
that I always support their choice. That whenever they want to open up, whenever they feel like they can show different parts of themselves to me, that timeline is absolutely okay. We are not in a hurry over here. So just showing that acceptance to clients that you can share whatever information you
Hmm.
want to share about yourself with me and on your own time, that it opens the gateway to for communication with them
Hmm.
basically.
Wow.
Correct.
So basically,
Correct.
they become that
Exactly.
comfortable and
Yeah.
then they try to speak. They tell. Amazing. That is awesome. Like, what if people started doing that with each other, on a daily basis? That will be awesome. There will be actually no need of a room and that specific place and a person listening to you. There are people,
Yeah.
it's like out of my head now. Okay, so I know you are also human, okay? You are going to listen to all of those
Yeah.
things day to day. You have a routine. But you are also a human. You might have felt somewhere like why these people are like this? Why are they continuously talking about themselves in a bad sense or a wrong sense or a negative way? You don't feel something like that? And can
Uh,
you tell me such emotion or
the
such feeling that you
only
have had
like
recently?
keeps on self sabotaging. But the I feel it, that's my cue to maybe detach a bit
Hmm.
because if I get frustrated, it's not going to help the client or me at the end of the day. So that's my point where
Yeah.
I really have to remind
Hmm.
myself that is this really the best way to communicate with this client right now? Whatever frustration that you're feeling is on a human level, but on a therapist level, it's the best way that you can be in the session. So it's
Yeah.
I would say that it's always a walk on that thin line, or in there is a term called Tarivarchi Kasrat. which means
Mm.
that there is a very thin rope that you have to walk over, right? So I feel therapists are constantly working on a thin line in the sense that they have to
Yeah.
empathize, but they don't have to get too connected and too entangled. But they also don't be cold and shrewd while they're listening to someone.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, while validating a client's
Mm-hmm.
experiences, you also have to facilitate better insight and better ways of looking at that problem for. So it's all that sort of walk over over a rope, I would say.
Oh my God, you're doing so much,
I
yeah.
mean,
And
6 days
and
a week,
you
yes.
do it
One day
daily?
off for
You do it
myself.
daily, right? Okay, so
So
can you tell me your routine, like
day
how
in, day out,
basically
what's
this
my
thing
routine
works,
like? That's it.
like
That's it.
daily?
Okay. So usually, like the day begins with,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like to
yeah,
go
yeah,
cycling,
yeah.
so my day begins with going out and having a nice time, half an hour or so. And once I come, then I have to cook.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, you like
Yes.
exercises, you like workout,
Um,
right?
so
So that's awesome.
yeah, so as I was saying, then the first part of the day goes in tending to the house, cooking, making tiffins and things like that. And then my first session starts around 11 a.m., which is 30 to 3:30 Indian Standard Time. And then, depending on the day, the maximum sessions that I take in a day are
Mm-hmm.
seven, and the minimum that I take are three or four. So, because after I realized that I cannot give my best to a
Okay.
client after 7 hours of doing therapy. So, and then I would say every day's
Yeah.
routine changes a
Mm-hmm.
little bit depending on when the sessions are placed. And then intermittently between two sessions, I either catch a sleep, I mean, I catch a nap, or I don't have a maid over here, so a lot of time goes in washing utensils.
Oh, okay. You are like super person now. You're doing things outside and also after coming back of all of these
But
work, you're
what I
doing
would
other
say,
work in
Zoe,
the
is
house
actually
itself. Oh,
doing
that
these
is awesome.
tasks is a it's a nice break for me. That I'm always, I mean, I'm sitting on a chair for 6 hours, 7 hours a day. It's
Mm-hmm.
always nice to at least roam around the house, even if I'm cleaning it. I would say that that's physical activity. And then a big chunk
Yeah.
of the day also goes in
Mm-hmm.
content creation. So the Instagram page that I have, the YouTube channel that I have, so making content for those two platforms.
Yeah.
That's another major chunk of my day. And the day mostly ends with a workout in the evening. Yes.
Wow. Like every day is a productive day. Like there, I haven't heard saying that you are binge watching
No,
or
no,
you're
that
watching
happens on the
certain
weekends,
something.
or let's say
I didn't hear any of
weekend
that.
onwards. I make not open my
Okay.
business WhatsApp because I need that break. So for
Okay.
Sunday, think about what content I'm going to post or what
Yeah.
replying to clients or scheduling sessions. I don't do that. So those are the days where I definitely binge watch. My
Mm-hmm.
favorite thing that I'm watching is in Eve, and I'm
Wow.
really hooked on it.
Wow. Happy watching that. Oh, like no, it is too much, yaar. Like even if they don't call you a doctor or something, but
But I'm sure that
whatever
that is
you
the
do
journey.
is it's too much. It's too
I
much.
mean, I
Like
don't
nobody can
speak
do
just
it.
for myself. Pretty sure that any therapist worth his or her salt is going to
Right.
need to put in this much of effort and constant updation of themselves to cater to different problems that can come up in sessions.
Mhm. But having this one-to-one
Hmm?
conversation is actually helping a lot of people. Like it is actually helping me. So I was thinking like at some point I will take you on call and I'll ask you, dude, this is happening to me. Can you just help me out? See, because see, being a content creator, you have different kind of a pressure, and being at a workplace is a different kind of a pressure. So you have to, have two minds at a time. वहाँ पर भी flexible होना, इधर भी flexible होना, and you have to have ऐसे एकदम recent content जो लोगों को click हो सके. I have seen recent videos of yours. They are amazing, and the expressions that you give is like completely catchy at that moment. I'm like, she's awesome. That's nice. Okay. Okay. So, this is like very interesting question. I always have that thing in my head. Like, what interest you get? Like, what is the best part of your routine? What is the best part of like while you're talking to a person, maybe being in a
Okay,
day or
let me
doing
think
your
about it.
things? What is
So
the best
workout
part of
would
your routine?
definitely be one of the hands down the best parts of my day. Apart from that, in a session, if you were to ask me like which
Mm-hmm.
part of a session I enjoy the most,
Okay.
then it would be when the client is at the same page and the client is like we have that sort of connectivity going on that do you see what I'm talking about? And the client goes, yes, I do. Know about this now. How should we beat this? So
Oh,
that's synergy that happens in with some clients. And then some sessions, I would say that they are literally work of art. Like I enjoy so much from start to end. And
wow.
those moments where there is a lot of synergy between me and my clients, then that's always the best part of therapy. Yes,
You get different
yes.
kind of excitement at
I
that time,
often
right? Like,
I
oh,
also
she
get
got the
quite
point.
warm. Like when I'm excited,
That's nice.
even as I'm talking right now, my ears are a bit warm. My heart rate
Uh-huh.
is elevated because I'm talking and I'm gesturing. So that starts to happen in a session. That's my cue that okay,
Yeah,
things are getting real, things are heating up.
of success. Like, okay, fine, somewhere you have reached. That's awesome. That little thing really keeps you going. Like, okay, I am going on the right path. Next question would be completely on the point. That's awesome.
I mean, I'll
Okay,
just
so what
deviate
goals do you have this
of
year?
the course just for a while. That me, but this does not mean that there are not days where I feel burnt
Yeah,
out. So there are days where I do not want to have any single client. I
yeah.
just want to be by myself. And I would say in the last 1 year,
Mm,
I had many of such days because I had just moved to a country. I was managing many things at the same time. And
mm,
that actually helped me to also realize that I also have my limitations. With therapists, there can also happen that oh I am a therapist so I shouldn't be feeling such things. I should be able to manage my own emotions so much better than other people. But we sometimes forget that we are humans first before
mm.
therapists. So I don't want to give off only the nice rosy picture of being a therapist. There is definitely this undertone to it also. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is like most of my points of asking you was like, how do you feel? What are the instances where you feel like, oh, no, I don't want to do this. This is yeah too much, yeah, like something like that.
Yeah.
Because everybody goes through this in a day. Okay. You are a human, obviously. You are not made of like कि हाँ यही है तो यही बताना है. There is nothing a checklist kind of a stuff that whatever person says you have to say this thing at the same time. You have to become that flexible around that person's life, that person's incidents, whatever happened to them. And it is not that easy, and it's too much, yeah. I mean, you have been handling it very well, and the way things you do in your routine that makes you more exciting and keeps you going, that is the best part, I guess. Because the next day you go with the same energy, and with the same energy, you do great stuff for people. So,
Thanks
really,
a
like,
lot.
heads up to you, man. Awesome. Okay, so one more question. What is the biggest
I would
challenge for
say
a
what I
therapist while
like said so
performing a
far that
treatment
when
or
the clients
counseling?
are very resistant, then that's definitely a challenge. And for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
doing grief work in sessions has been a very challenging thing because as a person, I'm a very emotional person, so it's difficult to not tear up when I'm listening to someone narrate the most painful experiences of their life. But I mean, as I'm practicing, I also think that it's not
Yeah.
all that bad to let that tear fall because that's that ultimate level of authenticity that you can offer to the client. That you know what, I am not here just because you're paying me, and I'm not. I
Yeah.
don't have a my mind that's going that okay, 60 minutes done. Now your
Mm.
problem is none of my business. So that's the message that we want the clients to get. So
Yeah.
managing again, walking that thin line between over expressing and under expressing would be the biggest challenge. Zoe, I also think we had another question somewhere as I was
Mm.
speaking. Could you just check? Um, yeah.
Where
So,
uh, cosmetic world and
yeah. So I don't
irrelevant
think that's a
imagination
question.
hit
I'm
people
talking
very
about
hard.
the question posed by Sampada Kulkarni. Does giving therapy affect you on a do you take to not get affected?
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's not
Huh.
being seen here.
So
Okay.
more or
Yeah,
less the
can you
same
answer
thing
that,
that I
please?
said so
Yeah.
far, that having that very clear distinction between work and my own time, my recharge time, and not constantly being on WhatsApp business and checking up with clients. That's one thing that really helps. Exercising is
Mm.
another thing that helps, and overall, just going out in the nature. Where I live, there is a nice river just 10 minutes away. So spending time there is something that always helps. Oh, we have another
Mm.
question. Uh, does giving therapy affect you personally? So do you mean in positive way or in a negative way, Sampada?
I think she is talking about negative way, I guess, because happy stuff is happy.
Okay, does
You'll
therapy
like it.
giving, okay, both. She said, all right. So positively, I would say it helps
Oh,
me
both.
be grounded in my own life. Knowing so many people's experiences definitely grounds you. Um, and negatively, I would say that,
Mm.
hmm, my husband says that sometimes you therapize even your family members and you therapize me sometimes. So that is a negative way that doing the therapy affects me, that sometimes I cannot draw that distinction between just being a person.
Yeah. That is natural instinct, yeah, because you have been, conditioned that
I would
way.
say.
It's your
And
daily thing, so it happens.
hyper
That's okay.
mindset is another drawback, that I'm too aware of my own emotions. I'm too aware of my own thoughts. Sometimes I feel like tone it down a bit. You don't need to be so aware of everything.
Yeah, like too many faces, to yourself. Like, okay, bhai, idhar nahi, just shut up. Even I do that things, like everybody has to do it at some point. Okay, that's good though. Okay, but yes, this is like one of the like good observations though. I have been like I interviewed a lot of people who are psychologists, who are therapists. I have seen all of them are like females, women. My question is why? Why only female? Why there are no
Yeah, so I
men's
would
out
say that
there
that's
doing
the
this
right
thing?
observation. I mean, the ratio is something that leans towards women more than men. There could be many reasons for it. What I can
Mhm.
present right now are two reasons. That the first one being that evolutionarily speaking, women are more empathetic. Women like talking. Women find a lot of meaning in communication, whereas men
Mhm.
more meaning into maybe let's say building things together, being there
Mhm.
for somebody, more responsible, right? Taking responsibility. So
Yeah.
that could be one reason
Mhm.
that men do not
Yeah, yeah.
usually, most of the men do not like to talk everything to death, which women, and I won't say that a job of a therapist is to constantly
Okay.
talk, because it's that thing that the client also is talking and then you're interjecting every once in a while.
Yeah.
But that could be one. And the second reason would be more relating to financial
Mhm.
aspects of being a therapist. So at least what about the market in India, I know that
Oh,
working
yeah.
someone or being a hired psychologist
Mhm.
or therapist pays really less. Unless you have your own private practice, you cannot really increase your
Mm.
take care. So as men, for the normal Indian man, the
Yeah, yeah.
pressure to be the breadwinner of the family is quite a lot. So if a person knows beforehand that this
Yeah.
profession is not going to give me a lot of money initially if I'm working under somebody, then that can be a major deterrent towards working, right? So that's actually something
Yeah.
that so many psychologists have been raised over, that
Mm.
we need better representation, we need better uh, pay scales when we are working for some psychiatrist, hospital, or things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because whatever people are doing in their daily lives, it is happening from here itself. When there is a pressure here, and you are doing that beautiful job because there is no one else doing it. You are the only ones. You have a different kind of a community. You people have learned a lot where we haven't that like we. I'm a dentist. I haven't done that kind of studies. While an MBBS cannot do this
Yeah.
kind of study, this is all practical things. But you are doing this mind work. this takes a lot. And I do feel like
Exactly.
उसको कुछ होना चाहिए ना वेट, उसको एक वैल्यू देना चाहिए. That person is doing something only like unexpectedly and completely unconditional also. Like you have to be there, you have to do those things, and you are changing
Yes.
people's lives. Okay, so this is like one quick question I got in my head. Like, how do you feel when people give you good
Then,
feedback on
I
work
mean,
of
there is
on
no,
whatever work you have
okay,
done for them?
it's so difficult
How do you
to say
feel?
because it's a feeling of joy, it's a feeling of pride, and it is also so self-reinforcing that I get some sort of a sign that the work that I'm doing is the right work, and whatever that I'm doing, I continue doing that. So it's downright the best
Mhm.
experience to have a client message that this is how my life has changed, and I mean, yeah, it's a fantastic feeling. There is no other way to express.
But this is like one thing I don't feel like men's do feel like हमको
Hmm.
इसकी जरूरत नहीं है, but I do feel that they really need this, the therapy sessions. I have seen a lot of my friends also, a lot of my family members, they are not opening up. I don't know why. And when I talk about such things, they tend to laugh a little bit, make fun of it, maybe, or like ignoring. This is like ignoring. It's complete ignorance. And there are people who would just get out of that conversation just right away. You don't want to even listen to that. I don't know why is that, but through this show, I would love to say, like, get a message from you. How would you spread this kind of awareness, that importance, and that urgency to guys? Like, please, you can also be a
Yeah.
part of it. This is not a wrong thing, and this is completely human.
What you
So,
just
how
said,
can
no,
we
that this is
just
a
tell, like,
human
this
thing.
is
So
completely
it has
normal?
got nothing to do with your gender. It has got nothing to do with that because
But
I
people
would say
classify it in
there are many
gender. That's what
connections
I
that
don't
are happening
like.
there. That men are usually associated with being strong, and going to therapy is seen as something that is not strong. So
Hmm.
that extension then that men should not need therapy
Oh,
because men are strong. So that's the most toxic masculinity principle that I can think of honestly. And I would actually say that being in therapy needs a lot of guts. It needs a lot of strength because you are literally breaking your own thought patterns. You are working, modifying. So if a
yeah.
client is not the stronger person, I don't know who is honestly. So
No, but I mean, opening up about your pain is like very big thing. There are like I
hmm,
had few of my friends, there are friends who would openly say like I have this because they want to spread that awareness. There are people who wouldn't say a word, who would just change their lifestyle, change their routine. They will stop talking to other people. They will not be normal as in that sense that they used to be. So it hurts a little bit. It feels like कि यार कुछ शब्द ही तो बोलना है ना, कुछ कुछ बोलना ही तो है. Why are you damaging your mental peace like that?
expectation.
Why are you taking
Yeah.
a lot of stress unnecessarily? It's just about to speaking. But men's are like they are more pressured. It's not only like
Hmm.
age wise
Yeah,
I'm
so,
telling, it's like every completely बहुत
हाँ,
मतलब कुछ बोलना ही नहीं
बराबर,
है, एक तो
बराबर.
मजाक में
So
खत्म
I
कर
have
दो बात
actually
को,
had
नहीं तो कुछ बोलो
conversations
ही मत.
with members of my family who have told me that we don't believe in therapy, like we don't believe in what you do. And I never really get pissed off or I don't really get
Mhm.
confrontational with people because at the end of the day, I believe that everybody has the right to believe what they want to believe.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I would also say that many times people still
Yeah.
mistake therapy as just talking to someone, which is why they derogatory opinion.
Yeah.
That's one.
It's a
And
treatment,
secondly, I will
it's
say,
a treatment.
I mean, fortunately, I also have many male clients from different age groups. So I always feel very good. I have also voiced my opinions to some
Mhm.
of them that I am so grateful and proud that you are talking to me about such things because it's also to validate when men do speak up. No,
Mhm.
so everyday lives also. If you have
Yeah.
fathers, your brothers, your husbands, your boyfriends, if they express emotions to you, do not laugh them off or do not you basically reduce it down to something of a joke. Give them platform. With that only slow approach towards
Mhm.
therapy will also change. If people are more open at
Mhm.
least talking about their feelings with family members, फिर जाके
Right.
थेरेपिस्ट ओपन अप होने की बात है ना?
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying because there is a medium already. You have people in your life. Why do you want to just go to a stranger and say things? Because at some point you're not going to get comfortable in like 2 or 3 days. It is going to take time because talking to a complete stranger is very much difficult than talking to your known person, known people. But still, it is other way around, I
It's
guess.
easier to talk to me because I'm a
They are
stranger.
more openly, yeah,
So different people work different
yeah.
ways, you know. That's the thing that is
That's.
as much as we have tried to streamline
Mhm.
different brands of therapy, it's still customized. It's the plan of custom that every person that you meet will need different things, and you will have to choose as a therapist what to offer and what
Mhm.
not to offer. Yeah.
Right. You're
Thank you.
doing
I
really
really
an
appreciate
awesome
it.
job, Yarishwari. Okay. So
I want
what
to
is
be
your
more
goal this year? Like
risk-taking,
what do you want to
basically. So I
achieve
have
this year?
really set up a good, comfortable client base as of now. I'm at a place cannot take new clients. So that's always a good
Mm-hmm.
place to be in private practice, right? So now I'm
Okay.
looking more towards expansion and looking towards floating more and more workshops because workshop generation is something that I have always been a bit concerned about that way that putting that, oh, I am the expert on this, so have a workshop with me. I cannot do that usually. So taking in that department, and my goal is to at least
Yeah.
do 5 independent workshops in 2023 and post more on my YouTube channel. Over the last year, the YouTube channel took a back seat and Instagram took a front seat. So I want to have that
Mm-hmm.
again restored where I'm posting on both handles. Those two would
Okay.
be the main goals.
All the very best on all, like wherever you are, all the very best for it. Like I want to know how you have started Aham and how is it actually going? Like in what sense you thought like there is a need of certain something of a specific place where people would come and talk to you and feel safe enough? And how, in what way you
Yeah,
have given this word aham?
no, so actually,
There
I
might
have
be a
been
story, I
extremely
guess.
fortunate in the sense that there were many people who came to my help when I wanted to start my private practice. Like, literally, from an uncle who gave me space for my
Hmm.
clinic without charging a penny for it. Um, two really great psychiatrists from Thane
Wow.
who helped me build my client pool initially. And then once it took off, word of the mouth got, and now I don't need to rely on them
Hmm.
to get patients. But initially, when I so as to your question how it's going, I would say that right
Hmm.
now it's all about scaling it and all about expanding a home as a brand. So right now just Ishwari Marathe. I slowly want to expand it to more
Hmm.
people apart from me. And by the name Aham, like I said, that it's a Sanskrit word which means me and myself. So the whole act of therapy is a big act of self-care, I would say. Actually celebrates that. It celebrates the
Hmm.
act of taking therapy as an act of self-care. And at the same time, also knowing more about yourself, knowing about your
Yeah.
strengths and weaknesses through therapy, and being on that process of transformation to be where you want to be as a person. So that the
Hmm.
whole thing, I try to capture that with the name Aham.
Very beautiful, yeah, because I just love, I mean,
Really?
ahem is also called as a
Yes,
priority, maybe,
correct.
like first person, first priority, important. Okay,
Actually gave me a new idea to look at the name. So thank you for that.
yeah. Most welcome because I loved it. This was my second question and I wanted to ask it for the first, but I thought maybe I should give you some time to tell about yourself. I was about to jump on Aham pehle hi. Okay,
Yes.
sad to say that we have
Yes,
come to this end
I
part of the
enjoyed it a
session.
lot for sure
I hope you
because
enjoyed.
number one, you feel nice when someone validates your
Amazing.
journey, validates the experiences that you have had, and gives you a platform to talk about them. So, really, thank you so much for inviting me to your page, to your platform, and it was fun to talk about therapy. That goes with it.
Most welcome. Yes, and woman behind it. Like always the woman behind therapy. Okay, so now it's your turn. It's your
Okay.
turn to sing few
Okay.
lines because you have been practicing Indian classically.
Oh, all right. I
Please,
have to
we
just
want to
think
hear
about it for
this.
a moment to have like a song be fitting for this.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
take your moment.
Okay. Maybe I can sing maybe a song which I have already done in Music Meets Psychology, but maybe I can sing it here again. Okay.
Okay.
ये हौसला कैसे झुके ये यार कैसे रुके मंजिल मुश्किल तो क्या धुंधला साहिल तो क्या तन्हाई है दिल तो क्या तरना तरना राह में काटे रे अगर उस पे तो फिर भी चलना ही है शाम छुपा दे सूरज मगर रात को एक दिन ढलना ही है मंजिल मुश्किल तो क्या धुंधला साहिल तो क्या तन्हाई है दिल तो क्या yeah. Thank you.
I just loved it.
Oh my god.
You are really awesome, like all
I was in
rounder man. When are you coming back
in
to
last
India,
month.
by
I
the
came
way?
back here in February, so
Are you
it's
coming
going
back
to
to
be
India?
another year before I come back.
Oh, so we missed it.
No,
We
no.
missed the session with
At
Ishwari
least I
ma'am.
look forward to meeting you again to talk about different topics relating to therapy and mental health.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have few topics in my head. I'm going to get you again on the show, and we are going to have a good we'll highlight few things like people don't want to talk or
Yeah.
they're not willing to talk. So हम लोग यहाँ बात करेंगे. करना है मत करो लेकिन हम लोग यहाँ बात कर रहे हैं सो somehow people will be asking some questions
Yes,
तो
yes,
उनके मन
yes.
से जो भी रहेगा वो तो निकल ही जाएगा इट्स अ प्लस पॉइंट
Yeah.
ओके एंड प्लीज 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 टेल अस लाइक थोड़ा सा एक मैसेज दे दो लोगों को आज हमारे व्यूअर्स हमको इतना टाइम से देख रहे हैं दे आर लिस्निंग टू योर जर्नी हाउ थेरेपीज यू टेक एंड एवरीथिंग सो कैन
So
यू गिव
the
देम
only
अ
message I would
छोटा
want to
सा
give is
मैसेज
make mental
द
health a
व्यूअर्स
priority, like you would make your financial health, your like we all have these materialistic goals in mind that I want to buy a car, I want to have this much bank balance, things like that. तो उन चीजों को जितनी अहमियत है उतनी ही अहमियत mental health को भी दीजिए because at the end of the day if you accumulate everything but you don't have the right mental health to enjoy it, what's the point? Do give it importance. Do not face any sort of hesitation or taboos in reaching out to a mental health professional. And at the same time, make sure who you are reaching out to. So I have posted a lot of content over how to select a therapist,
yeah
how to find and go about the process of finding a therapist. So you're all to check out my page to see more about this. And once you are in therapy, if you decide to go into therapy, give it your all because that's what the process needs. And for someone who is not in therapy, but wants to know more about their own mental health, there are so many resources available online. So of course, be my guest into checking those, and of course the content that I'm putting out, everything. Yes. So that's my final
yeah
message, I would say.
Wow, I really had a great time with you यार एंड थोड़ा बहुत तो नॉलेज मिल ही गया है कि भाई
Yes.
बहुत like not a big deal. You just have to go and gather some strength and talk about it. And when you are not able to find anyone, just talk to yourself. It is going to work very easily. When you're talking to yourself, बहुत सारे answers तो हमको पता ही होते हैं. The thing is, we don't want to face them. It's like basic stuff. Lot of truth everybody knows, but they want to listen from somebody else. That is fine, but it's very hard to listen from ourselves.
Thank
So,
you. Yes.
keep that in your mind. Guys, self. So that's one thing that you have taught us, and the other thing is like whatever it is, be in the process and just enjoy the journey. It's not only about profession that you are in; it's all about life. you're also living a good life in this. It's not only like your work, but you're revolving a work around your, happy stuff that you do in a like daily routine. So that's amazing.
Yes.
You're balancing everything out. It's really beautiful. And thank you so much for, giving such amazing knowledge about stuff and opening our minds,
I
like a positive therapist. You have enlightened our heads about therapy.
yes.
Awesome. See you next time very soon. We are going to have a good session on a certain topic, and I'll tell all of these people again. I'll create a creative and post it. Thank you so
Yes.
much,
Take care.
Ishwari,
Bye
and
bye. Bye
come back
everyone.
again soon.
Thank you so much, guys, for watching our talk show. I would really love to have some recommendations from your side on what kind of stories you want to listen to more in the comments. And after watching this video, if you feel that this person's journey relates or connects to your people, share them this link. And also, for more such amazing, inspiring stories, you need to hit the subscribe button. And do not forget to press the bell, because you need to get notified on every latest video of our talk show. Thank you so much, guys. See you next time, and let's know the next unknown very soon. Bye.